You know, I kind of keep forgetting that we're getting Venom 3 this year. For some reason, I remember Kraven the Hunter, but not Venom 3. And this movie is literally, I think, like a month away. Like, I think it comes out in October, I believe. And this is the third Venom movie, The Last Dance, of course, the end of this trilogy. Possibly the last time we'll see Tom Hardy's Venom, but most likely not. He'll probably come into Secret Wars in some way, shape, or form. But yeah. And so we've talked a little bit on the channel before about the villain of this movie and villains we could possibly be seeing. We talked about that quite a bit with the teaser trailer or trailer, whatever it was that we got not that long ago, with how we're getting Lasher and we're getting Scream and we're getting Toxin. Well, today we actually get a look at one of those symbiotes, possibly the main villain of this movie, and you can see this is more of a greenish symbiote, which I know a lot of people are kind of getting tired of, like, oh, why's the villain got to be another symbiote? But first of all, I mean, like, who else would you do? And second of all, I mean, it makes sense. Like, of course he's going to fight other symbiotes. Venom, we know, is kind of like an outcast from his planet. All the other symbiotes hated him, so it makes sense that other symbiotes would be fighting him in these movies. And also, I mean, that's who we fought in the comics as well. So my initial thoughts are, okay, this is Lasher, because in the comics, Lasher is the green symbiote, a member of the Life Foundation. And so that's what I've kind of been thinking, is we're going to get the full Life Foundation here. We'll get Lasher, we'll get Scream, we'll get Phage. We already saw Xenophage in the last trailer. So that's what I was thinking initially. But then it kind of got me thinking, because we know Toxin is going to be in this movie as well. We saw Patrick Mulligan's character, or no, I think the actor's name is Stephen Graham. Patrick Mulligan is the character, who of course was in Venom Let There Be Carnage, and now he's returned in Venom 3. And of course at Venom Let There Be Carnage, at the end of that movie, he was infected with part of the Carnage symbiote, so we know he's going to become Toxin, who in the comics is like the son, the offspring of Carnage. But what I didn't take into account is, like, okay, so we're going to get Toxin, so he's probably going to look like he does in the comics. But then it kind of got me thinking today when we saw this first look at Lasher, this green symbiote. What if they are one and the same? What if we don't actually get as many symbiotes as I initially thought in this movie, and it's just Toxin, but instead of doing a red symbiote again, because of course Carnage, the main villain of our last movie, was a red symbiote, and the only real difference is Toxin has a green tongue. What if instead what we're doing is this character Toxin, he's just taking on the appearance of Lasher and just is green just for design wise and just to make it different than the last movie. That's kind of what I think is going on, which, I mean, in some regards is like, it's too bad we won't get an actual comics accurate Toxin. But again, like I said, it is kind of a bit redundant when we just had a red symbiote in the last film, and I think the green symbiote looks pretty darn cool. So guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think about our first look at the villain of Venom The Last Dance? Do you think this is actually Lasher, or do you think it's possibly Toxin, just with a different design from the comics? So anyways guys, thanks for watching. Please drop a like if you enjoyed this video and hit the subscribe button so I can keep you up to date on everything that goes on in the Marvel life.